Have you ever done something stupid in your life? Ever done anything you regret? Are you currently carrying any baggage with you from your past that you can't let go of? Today is 420, April the 20th. And in this episode, I am going to stretch and bend the rules as much as I possibly can without hopefully breaking your trust and completely turning you off from listening to me. If you're not familiar with what 420 stands for, you're going to learn a little bit about it today. But more importantly, if you are willing to bear with me in a little foolishness, what I'm going to be giving you in today's episode is spiritual gold. I'm not afraid to push the envelope and challenge what is considered conventional Christian thought. So, are you ready? Let's go.
So we hold on and enjoy the ride. After all the ups and downs, this is our time. Enjoy the ride.
Okay. All right. So we are off and running. Today is 420, and now that is a loaded term. It has become a loaded term. I wanted to start this off with, I actually got in this today's episode, who is actually dropping in on us is my wife, my lovely wife, Jessie Fogel. Jessie, you want to kind of introduce yourself and kind of just say whatever it is you want to say? Go ahead. Anything? Do you have anything?
Not right now.
Not right now? Okay. All right. As anyone who is not used to being on camera, as I'm not used to being on camera, but it's just you just got to get used to it. It's just it's different for every one of us. And okay, let me start it off with this. She is the glue. She's the one who keeps my head on straight. She's the one who behind every great man, there is a woman rolling her eyes. And hopefully I become one day that great man that I would love to become. And as you can see now, you're going to be able to see the woman that is behind me rolling her eyes. So I don't know how many times we're going to actually have this where I have Jessie on, but I wanted to be able to introduce her to the world, And so here she is. Isn't she lovely, ladies and gentlemen? Bonnie, how's sound quality?
Amazing.
Bonnie, how is visual and video?
Also amazing.
Okay, are you on the screen right now?
No.
On one of the cameras? You should be on one of the cameras.
I am on one of the cameras.
Okay. Now you probably, if anyone's out there, you probably cannot hear Bonnie. We do not have her mic. Her mic is not hot right now. Her mic is, she does not have a live mic right now. Only we have live mics. First of all, I wanted to actually ask, Jessie, what do you think about me doing all this stuff? This has kind of been new in our lives, and me kind of bringing it into this year, and kind of just everything's been kind of new, kind of trying to do this. What do you think about all that? What has it been like for you?
I don't like being on it, but I'm glad you do, and you're good at it, and you're getting better. And I like how you know a lot about the Bible and things, and people want to know it. You're good at explaining things.
Oh, thank you. And Jessie, she's always talking to me and saying about things that I should do, or where some people throw out ideas and throw out questions, and I kind of just try to answer them the best that I can, and just have short little clips, short little snippets, and talking about that. I think that would be a wonderful thing to do. I know she's got friends that sometimes listen to this, and they have questions as well. So it's just like, we're gonna set it up so I know I put comments in there, and any questions you have. People have put comments and questions in my videos. I haven't really responded, but maybe I could take those questions and use them on a future episode and what we talk about. But before we get any further, make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell so that you never miss an episode. Do the air horn, the top right one. I cannot hear anything. I cannot see anything. Nothing on, I do not have the video in front of me, and as you can see, I do not have headphones on. My headphones are missing, and I think I just need to get a longer line. I need to get another set of headphones, and I need to get another cord, a longer cord, one that can actually reach this chair, But we're getting there. We'll get there. All right. So I don't really have what I wanted to talk about. I started off with 420. This is this if you're listening to this, it's probably not 420 when you're actually listening to this, but when I'm recording right now, it is 420, and that is a loaded term. It is usually linked to marijuana, and there's a lot of different things. Hitler's birthday. I believe that. Did you ever hear? Was the Columbine shooting? Did that happen on 420?
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it did. I thought that was something that those kids like back in the 90s that did when they did it on that day. I might be incorrect about that, but that's what I remember. But 420, it is a loaded term, and I wanted to even bring it up. Going through the week, what I wanted to talk about, and I thought about different topics to go over and to get into. First of all, I was going to start off with the brotherhood and the sisterhood of believers. And then I kind of switched to, I wanted to talk about angels and demons. And then I was like, then I finally like, I'm going to talk about angels. I'm going to use this week to talk about angels. And then I think later, it's like, it just through the week, my mind just turns over and everything flips over and changes. And different things come into my mind. And I think God brings upon me things that I want to think about and talk about and bring to you. And then later in the week is like, well, it's 420. Why don't I actually take an episode to like, it's not going to come around until next year that we even talk about this. But I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about 420 because, first of all, it is front and center. I mean, marijuana and weed and all that stuff, that is becoming legalized. It is not like it used to be where it was like, that was the taboo and you don't touch that and everything like that. It is starting to become where it is a legal thing that people can buy. You know, I would say like as Christians, you know, whether it is on where you want to smoke weed or you want to do that kind of stuff, and like that. I mean, I take that to your Christian liberty and freedom and all that kind of stuff in Christ. I don't know, but when it was illegal, that was the thing where it's like, well, we can't go against the laws that the government has placed upon us. As Christians, we do not want to have a bad witness and do something that the government, God has set boundaries by the governments that he's placed over us that we need to obey. We're supposed to have a good witness, be good citizens and everything like that. But now that marijuana and weed is becoming a legal thing that people can buy, so it's like we got to kind of adjust our mindset. Does it fall within the boundaries of alcohol, just the same way as alcohol is, you know? So it's like, I know, and I don't know too much about CBD. And I was just actually talking to my friend yesterday about CBD. Maybe I'll just throw this to Jesse. Jesse, what do you know about CBD? And what does that even mean to you?
Something, whatever addictive or bad part is taken out, as far as I can tell. There are beneficial things to it. So CBD, you think it is something that where the good part remains, but like kind of the bad part of marijuana is? That, as far as I know, yeah, but I don't know.
You know, and I mean, I think people use drugs, I would say, to medicate, you know, and I've definitely used drugs in my life to medicate. I've used alcohol to medicate myself and just a way to just kind of numb myself to kind of get away from the pain and the hurt of life, you know? So, I mean, if I wanted to kind of talk about in today's episode, I wanted to talk about just the freedom that we have in Christ. I wanted to talk about that we don't need to be, as Christians, just rigid, and we can't engage with what is happening in culture, and we have to completely keep ourselves away as much as possible. We got to be able to approach culture with a mindset that is not just keeping people at arm's length and we're the good camp and those people over there are the bad camp. As much as when you become a Christian, if you can do it within Christian liberty and what is between you and your conscience, between you and God, you know, that is a main part of the Bible. It's talking about there is the weaker brother and then there's the stronger brother. And you would think the stronger brother is better in God's eyes, and the weaker brother is worse in God's eyes. And the stronger brother is, the one that we should esteem. And they're like, but Paul, when he writes about it in Romans chapter 14. He does not say one is better than the other. This woman who, I got married with, and gosh, that sounds so weird. Who I married, she is the most wholesome, good, straight as an arrow woman that you would ever meet. You know, she grew up in an awesome Christian household, and she was raised right, to the nth degree. Me, on the other hand, I was definitely raised in a Christian household and had a good environment and everything like that. But for some reason, turned out as the bad boy, And a lot of people that just saw me from the outside might not have noticed that. But I brought a lot of baggage into our marriage, and a lot of things that we had to kind of just talk through when we got married, and a lot of things that I had to just get off my heart and just let her know, and a lot of things I probably should have brought to her before we got married, but as the person that she is wonderful and gracious, and she was forgiving. Didn't even in a second thought forgive me for the stuff that I had done. So that was just something I will never forget, and I would always remember, and something whenever I know about her, our marriage is definitely went through ups and downs. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you would have seen like a lot of I have done a lot of messed up stuff. And I've a lot of bad things that have come out from me, and what I've I don't even know how to even say it, but out of it all, where sin increases, grace does the more, and God is the most gracious. He is the most, infinite, merciful, and everything like that. So it's like he sometimes lets us go down a bad path so that he can show us grace and forgiveness. So, Jesse, just whenever...
I was going to say something.
Go ahead.
When I talk to people that knew you before you became a Christian, I say, oh, I'm married to Brandon Fogel. Like, oh. Like, I can just tell that you weren't the nicest, not the nicest, but you weren't the Christian person you are that we all know today. And so I have to kind of like, oh, he became a Christian and he's different now. And
I'm actually glad to hear about they didn't think I was the nicest, because sometimes I think I'm too nice. I just got.
I didn't mean that.
Okay.
Just like, you're probably nice and for just like the party guy or something.
Oh yeah. It's like.
But I didn't even know you back then. I only knew you right after you became a Christian. So I'm just things you told me.
Oh yeah, and like it's just we all go our own paths. We all go our own ways. I wish I would have become a Christian when I was 7, like my wife Jessie was. She became a Christian that early on. And Bonnie, when did you become a Christian? What was your age? Actually, she got. When did you?
I knew anything, probably.
Yeah, I think she's just always been that way, But when did you get baptized? Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think so.
2 years ago?
Probably.
Okay, I think it was about 2 years. You were 6 or 7? You're 7. She got baptized when she was 7.
She became a Christian before that, but she was afraid to go underwater, so we waited a little bit.
Was it?
Yes, before that you were.
No.
But she has always humbled me. Like when we pray at night, when she was really itty bitty, she had like the best prayers. You really did, Bonnie. You're like, I can't even explain it. I was like, you knew Jesus personally. It's cool.
That's awesome.
Which you did, I guess.
Oh yeah, a lot of people do not have that moment. A lot of people do not have that moment where they like the lights turned on and I met Christ right then at that moment. If anyone knows Billy Graham and then Ruth Graham, it was Ruth Graham, and she's still alive, right?
I don't think so.
Did she pass away as well?
I don't know.
Okay. But if anyone knows Billy Graham and his wife Ruth Graham, Billy Graham was an awesome evangelist, and he their stories were completely different. Billy Graham went to a revival. I think he went to a revival or something like that, and he like that is when he became Billy Graham. He knew the lights turned on and he submitted his life to Christ, and he could tell you that. Ruth, his wife, on the other hand, she like grew up in that Christian household. She like could not describe when she specifically became a Christian. It was like almost she had always been. It's not one is better than the other, but it's like it's just a different experience that everyone has. And I would say, I don't know, Jesse, did you know when you became a Christian?
Yeah, I went in my closet and I prayed the prayer twice to make sure. So I had a moment. You had a moment where you knew you became a Christian. Yeah. Me, on the other hand, as you can go back and listen to my video, it's that one that was called I don't even remember. Life's a Waste. And you can hear my testimony on that. But I remember I became a Christian, but then it was like, then I started going to church after I became a Christian, and it was like, that was when I felt like
I didn't pray the sinner's prayer. I didn't say this exact wording. And I remember going to, do you remember that store at the Metro North Mall? It was called Omega.
Yeah.
I remember going to that. I was in that store after I'd become a Christian, and I remember seeing kind of like it was like a chain that had the sinner's prayer on it, and I was like, I better cross all the T's and dot all the I's, and I said it, but it was like years or a certain amount of time after I'd become a Christian, and
Which that's sad.
Yeah.
Like, what happened in your soul at that point. You shouldn't have had to do it again.
Oh yeah, and I definitely did not have to do it again. It's like, and I'll throw this out here. Like I have personally been baptized 3 times in my life. Baptized 3 times, and when I grew up in the church and I got baptized then at going to the Methodist church, and then when I actually became a Christian, I was baptized at the church that I went to. And then later on, I went through a period, and I'll use that for a future episode. All the stuff that I went through that I felt like I needed to get baptized again and in a certain way. And I think a lot of it is just if you're a Christian out there, you definitely struggle with doubt at times. And there's things that you like. I got to get baptized. I got to do it in a certain way, And we want to make sure our souls are secure and everything like that. And I think I have went through that many times in my life, and Jesse's seen a lot of it.
Not grasping the concept of grace. You just are, masters of biblical languages over here, and I have to be preaching to them late at night about basic elementary things.
And I can just remember like sharing my struggles with Jesse and just like being like, and she would just be like, keep it like in the most simple terms, Jesus, just to like make it like clear. You don't need to do anything. Jesus, he is. And like I'm like Michael Scott off The Office. Explain it to me like I'm 5, or can you explain it again? But like I'm 4, it's like, I think you can get, even after you become a Christian, you're going to go through things and you're going to have that head knowledge and, but you're going to wrestle through things and you're going to just the nature of life and the struggles and the things that we're going to do wrong. And we don't need to overcomplicate the gospel and the gospel message that Jesus is so simple. He's so simple that a little child can understand the depths of Christ, but he's so profound that biblical languages, masterful theologians, the brightest minds in church history cannot even touch the surface of the depths of what is in store for them and what is in the Bible. There's so much richness in God, and you would expect that. We are a finite little, we are dust. We're compared to dust in the Bible. And then the infinite, glorious, great, and awesome God who has created all things. How are we going to understand that? It's like, I've heard illustrations of it. It's like trying to explain the internet to an ant, or something like that. It's just like, we're not going to fully understand who God is. And that's what I touched in last week in bringing up the Trinity. And people push against the Trinity and everything like that. And Trinity is just a word, it's a word to try to, for our little finite minds to understand, how is this God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, but there's only one God? How does that all jive? I don't get it. Well, the Bible just said, it lays it out. This is how it is. It's not going to, it tries to put it in a language that we're going to understand the best of that it can. You go to the very center of the Bible and what it'll tell you, lean not on your own understanding, but trust in God with all your heart. If you go to the very center of the Bible, you can Google that, go to the very center of the Bible, and I think that specific verse is at the very center of the Bible. I'll try to find that verse where it is. I think it's in the Psalms. It's either in the Psalms or Proverbs, but it's the dead center of the Bible, and that's what it says. It says, lean not on your own understanding, but trust God with all your heart. We're not going to fully understand the depths of God, This is morning coffee and Bible. I hope my coffee's dwindling. I have you can't see it right here, but like I got a coffee warmer down there that it can make that coffee crisp and hot the whole time it goes down. But I can hear my wife just kind of zoning out whenever I start talking about coffee, and another thing about her, She is not a coffee drinker. She is not a coffee drinker.
He thinks he's gonna get one of the kids to drink coffee with him someday.
We'll see. I'll keep pushing it on him. I'll keep pushing that. I would say the first drug I gave my children was their phone. Maybe the second drug I'll give the second drug I'll give them is their coffee. That sounds terrible. I'm sorry I said that.
It's true.
Okay. But yeah, but that itself, phones can be addictive, and we have given our children phones, and but it's like me and my wife, we fall on different kind of ends of technology, and our children having it with them. I almost see it as like it is the way things are going. You got to give that, like, do it in moderation, do it with wisdom, but it is like this world and technology and phones and tablets and all the rest, screens and everything. You got to get them kind of acquainted with it at an early age, because you don't want them to be left behind and like kind of not have that aspect of life. My wife, on the other hand, I think she is more like, and I think that's part of marriage. There is that balance. One has an extreme that you take, and then the other one goes with kind of like balances you out. Both of you can't be dreamers. You've heard that before. But both the wife and the husband in the marriage can't be dreamers. Otherwise it might turn out really bad. But
well, what you just said, like, I agree with that. Moderation. It seems like they're not too much. Well, I'm not a lot though. But I think it's okay because I'm reading a book. But
I just want you to talk up as much as you can into it. I don't want it to be like, I think you're good. It's good. You all can hear it. I can't hear it. I just don't want it to be where like later on we couldn't hear you that well. And I think we can finagle with
like right inside my nostrils. I think you can hear it.
Okay.
In my mouth.
Okay. Sound is good. I will have headphones eventually over here, but I am shooting blind, folks. Blah, blah. Oh,
please cut all that out.
Okay. That's the beauty of not going live. Eventually when we get internet that is rocking and rolling, baby, when we get internet that's hot, Starlink, that is we are out in the boonies, like I've said before, and we need Starlink and something that increase the speed, increase, the amplitude, the voltage, high, reeling and rolling, but when we have that internet that is hot and it is just rolling, like I wish all internet across the board was like that. If the government wants to do something and spend all our money, maybe you can make our internet across the board, awesome, not just for the inner cities and everything like that, but really, and maybe that's that Build Back Better that, that we've heard back that, but a lot of times I just, get it done, make it across the board better, that's what I would say. But once we have that internet, that nice internet, I would like to go live so people can see live videos, and then we can clip it up, and make it like that. But I digress. Mm-hmm. Do I digress, Jesse? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, well, I wanted to actually bring up and with it being 420 and all, I wanted to talk about something I listened to this week, and something I listened to a lot is Joe Rogan. I watched Joe Rogan, and I listened to him quite a bit. I don't know if you all are a fan, but he is a person that he is definitely still skeptical of Christ, definitely still skeptical of Christianity. And I if you see clips of him from the past, you're going to see things that are that really are almost in a lot of ways just like really shooting down Christianity and kind of demoralizing it and making fun of it and everything like that. I thought he had become like more close to Christian thought over time.
What about him? Was something you liked about him?
Well, it was just like the guest that he had on. It was like he was talking to a woman. I forget her exact name. Might have been Michelle, something Dowd. It was something Dowd that he had on there this week. And she was a woman that had come out of an abusive Christian. It was tough to hear because like I had thought that he had was kind of getting closer to Christ, but it's just that I don't know exactly.
They probably couldn't separate the two. I mean, yeah, there's bad religious people and that's what she came from.
Mm-hmm.
And he probably just lumped it in with all the rest of us.
Yeah, and that's how I saw it. So with marijuana and weed now, it's like kind of, I don't know across the books, like if it's like legal. Do you know about that? If it
I
is,
think certain states have legalized. I think some haven't yet.
some have legalized it and some haven't. I just remember in like election like little while back, I chose, like, you had to choose, do you want this legal or not? Where we're at, and I chose yes. Yeah, I selected yes, like, because I don't see marijuana as any different than alcohol. Like for me, like, what do you think? Do you think do you see it as anything different than alcohol, or
I mean, I guess we're always taught, oh, it's the gateway drug, and so you start with that. It's not so bad, but then it leads you into other things.
yeah? And I've like more seen it as, but just like, oh, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was always taught, don't get drunk. So, I mean, can you take marijuana and not get high? Isn't that being drunk and being high is the same thing to me?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Can you just have a little of marijuana and not get high and be not in control of yourself? And still be in control of yourself?
see, and that's where I have smoked weed before, and it's been a while. It's been a long time. Like, it was in high school when I did it, but like, so I know what it was. I probably maybe did it a handful of times my whole life in high school, but like, it's, I don't know if you can really just smoke it without like getting completely high. I don't know, or maybe you can just do a little bit of it just to make yourself feel good. I don't know, but it's just, it is. I just wanted to talk about this mainly because I don't want it to be something that as Christians we can't touch. Mm-hmm. We can't engage in. We can't like discuss. It can't be on the table of our things that we talk about. But
I think a lot of people think Christians are too uptight and snooty and can't talk about it openly. That's just shut your mouth and let people say what they want to say about it, and don't condemn them. Mm-hmm. That's the main thing, because we're always told we're hypocrites and judgmental.
So do you think marijuana and weed, do you think it's the same thing as, is it the same thing as CBD? I've heard that CBD it's marijuana, but with THC taken out of it. And people that are listening to this, that you actually, if you know more about this, put it in the comments. Let us know what you think. We only we have the understand that we have. I don't know, but like, we just see it as I always just took it as CBD is just like kind of like a healthy version of marijuana, I mean,
that's being sold in stores before it was even legalized. So it must be fine somehow.
Yeah, it's and we'll get it. So like, I'll be able to like say, pull up, CBD, or like we'll be able to. Right, I just can't see anything over there, but that'd be something cool later on. But yeah, with, I guess, just talking about this,
So just because it's legal, like, would you do it now? Yeah, let's say you're stressed out, and it's supposed to make you feel better. Would you smoke it now because it's legal? Yes or no?
I would say, me personally, right now, I would not. I have recently quit drinking, and I'm wanting to kind of just be out of that mindset where, and you know me, it's just like I had a where I did not, years ago when I was on medication, I did not want to be on medication because it just kind of, it made me just lethargic and numb, and just it made me tired, and everything slowed down. It was just a way to escape, and I just see, well, for me, alcohol was definitely just a way to escape, mm-hmm. and to get away from the hardships of life, and just to kind of get my mind so I'm not even thinking about that stuff anymore. And I think if I smoked marijuana, I would use that in the same way. But I would say that, like, it's, in my view, that it's not something that's just completely wrong, and you cannot do that. If you're a Christian, you cannot smoke marijuana. I would not say that one bit. That's me personally. I would say I believe there's Christian liberty, and your body, your mind, what you're able to handle, and your witnesses as well. So I mean,
that goes back to the weaker person, because if they say, oh, they're a Christian and they're drinking and they're smoking, even though it might not necessarily be a sin, it might just, I don't know. It's hard.
And I went to a Christian school in college, and where I graduated at, and there a teacher there who I highly respect, and I'm not going to say his name right now, but like he was completely against alcohol. You cannot do alcohol at all as a Christian. And there's verses in the Bible where he would point to, like in Proverbs, where it says, "Do not look at the wine while it's swirling in the cup." Just don't even look at it. But then there's other parts of the Bible where, well, Jesus made wine. Jesus made alcohol.
We know he drank it.
Yeah, he would have drank it as well. But like so it's like, I don't know. I just think you have to come at it with wisdom and be able to, and discernment, so that you're doing it in an appropriate way. You're doing it in a way that honors God with your body, but also is not going to cause someone else to stumble. I think that's a big thing, a big part of it as well. You don't want to push people away and make them kind of just question you, or I think that's where Paul talks about in Romans 14, with you and your faith and your conscience, have it before you and God, have it between you and God, and that was, so in this aspect of it's 420 and marijuana and all that kind of stuff, I all I wanted to do in talking about this was mainly, I don't want to be able where I am scared to bring up any topic because I don't want to turn people off. I'm going to talk about, just whatever I think is needed to be heard by people, because it is in our culture. There's going to be times where I'm going to talk about, just the whole sexual identity crisis that our culture is having with transgenderism and people wanting to change from a boy to a girl and everything like that. And I don't want to be afraid where that we can't talk about those types of things. Those are real things, real issues that people struggle with. And this is the same way with marijuana and everything like that. It is becoming legal. It is legal in certain states. So it's like, it's going to be a part of the fabric of our society. So it's like, we got to be able to engage and step in, but do it with wisdom, and approach it with, we don't want to cause other people to stumble, but we also, have that leeway of, there's the weaker and the stronger brother. The stronger brother is, and Paul uses it is in the context of, the stronger brother, he's talking about eating food sacrificed to idols. I don't think that's as much of a thing that we struggle with in our day and age, but that was what they struggled with then. It was eating food that was sacrificed to idols. And the stronger brother was okay to eat. He would eat meat, and wouldn't question it, whether it was sacrificed to an idol or not. But the weaker brother was one that had to only eat vegetables because he wanted to stay away from the possibility of eating something that had been sacrificed to an idol.
But then they said the stronger one, if they tell you that it's sacrificed to an idol, don't eat it, right?
Definitely, yeah. I think that is what we have missed in our kind of reading through the Bible at this time. Eating food sacrificed to idols is still a no-no. It is still a no-no. And taking verses out of the book of Corinthians, it can seem like that Paul is like making, well, it's an idol is nothing, and he puts it back on the table. Well, we can eat food sacrificed to idols.
As long as we don't know it is?
No, I would say
don't ask questions.
In that context, he was like saying an idol is nothing, an idol is nothing. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. An idol is nothing. So when you go to eat with someone, don't ask, has this food been sacrificed to an idol or not? Don't even ask it. And he says, don't ask it for conscience sake. But he's saying, just don't even approach it like that. I don't know if I kind of explained it.
Well, it seems like for a Christian, you do kind of want to be set apart in a way.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. And
like, it's so hard. You don't want to step completely away, but you don't want to just blend in and have no one have any idea that you're a Christian. Yeah.
And that I think is a really good point, because it's like in our day and age, like there is that, to the extreme, the Amish, the Amish are people that have tried to step outside of culture and just separate themselves. But, Jesus said, be in the world, but don't be of it. What we do not need to completely separate us and cut ourselves completely off, but we also don't want to just be Jesus went and drank and ate with sinners and tax collectors. He put himself in that context, but he did it in a way that was not going to cause. I don't even know if that's a way to even say it.
Yeah.
But like
They knew that he was
I think
a
my mouth
holy
gets
man.
really dry on that shirt.
They knew that he was a holy man and he was not one of them. But they were in awe and they would listen to him because he did lower himself to talk to them and like just love them like a regular person.
Yeah. And it's like, I think as Christians, we got to get on this line, and everybody's line that you're going to be walking is going to be different. This tightrope that you balance with, you got to do it with wisdom, and everybody's line is going to be different. Everyone's line is going to be different. And when you're walking it, you got to be able to discern, is this going to be helpful to the kingdom? Is this going to be push others to Christ, or is this going to push others away? Like what I'm saying is, it's even doing this show right now, and I'm going to put a thumbnail that's going to be 420, on my thumbnail. That immediately might push Christians away. That might immediately I ain't going to touch that. That's completely, that's not of God. That is not something that can jive with Christianity. I'm not even going to click into that. If you're clicked into that and if you're actually listening to this right now, I mean, all I'm saying is be in it and not of it, Be in this world. We do not need to separate ourselves completely. We got to be a part of it. How are we going to reach others where they're at if we completely just stick back and don't even want to engage whatsoever with it? I think we need to familiarize ourselves with what is happening in culture and be able to discern what is good and what is bad, and then bring the Christian viewpoint, the mind of Christ to that, and be able to because everything is God's, It's like, what do you think about this? Like, marijuana, like it is, just like anything that is grown. It's something that's grown. It can be kind of altered and everything like that and used in a bad way, but the same way that alcohol can be used in a bad way. It is, you can grow it and make it and everything that, make it. But then if you use it in a bad way, you can use it for ungodly purposes. But God is just like he's given us the ability to make medicine and everything like that. Maybe medicine can be marijuana. Maybe medicine can be CBD and all this kind of stuff to kind of make people feel good if they do it in a right way, and everybody has a conscience that's different. We're not all we're not exactly wired the same. And that's the difference between the weaker and the stronger brother.
So there is no black and white though with being in the world but not of it. You're not saying be in the world but don't do marijuana. You're not saying that. Be in the world but don't drink alcohol. It's right. There is no black and white on it.
I would say, yeah, like it's, to me, there's not like a black and white on alcohol's bad, marijuana bad. I don't see it as that as much. I don't like, I think if you do it, if you were to do it, but do it in a way that's going to be between you and God and that is legal and your body. And then there's this different element where it's like where Peter and the apostles, they talk about be sober. We are called to be sober, have sober minds, be able to clearly think. We don't want to put ourselves in a position. So it is kind of like I am talking about out of both sides of my mouth, I hear that and I see that. And I think it's just me. I do not have a perfect understanding either, So it's like,
I think you have to examine your heart and be like, let's say when you were medicating with alcohol, you didn't feel all that close to God because you knew you should be finding your rest in Him, but like you still felt like crap, so you just wanted to numb it.
Yeah, and
right?
Yeah.
Did you feel like that was kind of between you a little bit, or no?
I mean, yeah, I can remember definitely nights that I just just bawling and crying to Jesse because it's like I'm not doing what God wants me to do, and I just wanted so much to be doing something for the kingdom and for Christ and for others, and it's just like all I'm doing, is just I'm not doing that. So all I can do is kind of numb myself and make the pain go away by every night kind of just drinking myself. I wasn't getting drunk or anything. Like you would say,
no, you were relaxed. You were happier, and so I mean, okay, but maybe that wasn't the answer.
Yeah, for me it wasn't, and like I think that's why everybody's different. We can't. Main thing I want to even get across is we don't need to. you're either condemned or you're not, and people that do this, they're bad. And people that don't do that, they're good. It's like, I think we just need to approach these things with wisdom and grace, and like, we're not going to have it perfectly right up front. We're not going to have everything where we have everything buttoned up and everything is good. Like, we're not going to have a perfect mind at it. That's what even the point of this. I think just even doing this and talking about it, I'm going to like just talk about these things, and being able to, I hope you are willing to listen and give me your feedback, your comments. Like, I'm definitely willing to hear. And as you can see, like, even just talking through it, like, if you're not going to come to a better understanding of something unless you actually talk it out. Mm-hmm. If you just sit back and just, I have my mindset, I have my thoughts on something, unless I start vocalizing it and sharing it with others, and you start hearing how stupid your belief is. Once you start vocalizing it, that's when you start really hearing yourself, and you're able to, wow, that really did sound stupid. And it actually, when it came out of my mouth, that sounded dumb and did not make logical sense. And it can cause you to, that's why I just wanted, the main part of this video is just kind of just to talk about, to put it on the table, to be able to talk about these things so that we do not have to be afraid to touch them.
Well, speaking of being afraid, though, like, I was raised like the alcohol was a no-no. Even though we said, really, it's, don't get drunk, but really it was, and so I've actually never had a drink. And I'm fine with that, because you never know. Like, I was always taught, like, if you have one sip, you're like, I'm not, alcoholic tendencies, and then you can't stop ever, and it ruins your life. You just never know. So why chance it?
That's a good point. I mean,
but then when people find out I don't drink, they're like, why? Are you whatever, or this or that? I'm like, I always say, I just don't feel like God wants me to do that. Is that a snooty way to put it? I don't feel like I should do that. I don't know.
So, like, when you grew up, where you, like, was it like taught to you, or like that it was wrong? Like, it was like,
I mean, that's the impression we got. My sister and I both never drank. My parents never drank, not even a drop.
It's like, I
don't know.
And I mean, my parents are the same. They did not drink. They would sometimes threaten us that they were going to drink. I don't even know if that sounds kind of weird. They were like, just like, well, because me and my brother, we were bad kids in a lot of ways. My brother probably a better person than me, but we like pushed them to the limit where they're like, we're just gonna start drinking, and they would almost threaten us with that. More so my mom than my dad. But I remember my dad, like, I think before, and maybe that is like with me, when my kids were little and they grew up, I did drink. I drank, and that was the way that I got through the day. And and for many years, I just wanted to break that habit. I wanted to get away from that, and just and now that they're actually growing up and they're getting older, maybe I'll be like my dad, where they don't see me as much doing that. They don't see me as needing that. And I think my dad, like, he was the same way. I remember just hearing, for some reason, I heard that he liked to drink. He and I don't think he drank a lot at all, but he would drink beer and have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I don't know. And I just remember hearing that he liked that combination of things. Mm-hmm. I might talk to him after this, and that might be completely wrong, but I just remember hearing that. And it's like, so it's like, but as I grew up, and as me and my brother, my parents never touched this stuff. It wasn't part of it, And I think everyone grows up in their own household, their own unique environment, and they everybody. And from that unique environment, that's going to make you who you are. And I just don't want to be afraid that we can't touch this stuff. We can't touch this topic, and we can't touch this, Let's come at it with humility. Let's come at it with just an open mind of just being able to hear where people are at, and not saying, if you want to be a part of the church, you cannot drink. If you want to be a part of the church, you cannot smoke or anything like that. For me at this time, I guess I could completely flip, later on down the road and be like, man, I wish I did not do that video, or man, I wish I did not do that, But it's like, to each his own, and we grow through things and we learn through things. We're not perfect. We're just doing the best that we can as Christians, and being examples of Christ. We have our own conscience between us and God. Mm-hmm. That's what I would say. But
and just back to you just can't condemn other people. They might not be a Christian, so they don't have a conviction at all. You can't fault anybody if they don't have that relationship Jesus yet. So all you have to do anytime, Christian or not, just love people.
Mm-hmm.
Don't condemn them.
I completely agree. Yeah.
Because there's way too many people who are judgmental. Oh my gosh, if you get on Facebook at any time, they're like, well, you shouldn't be doing this or that. It's like, that's not the way. They're not going to say, oh, you're right. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, righteous person. I'm going to change my ways. It just drives them farther from anything remotely close to Christ.
Mm-hmm. Completely agree. So where are we at? Okay, we're gonna do a little. Finish this off with a little rapid fire. Jesse, I'm not always gonna have Jesse on the camera with me, and this is a unique opportunity. You know, maybe it will be later on where I can have her on more and everything like that. But I really don't foresee that happening where I have her on here. But I wanted to introduce her to the world, so that you see the woman behind me that is rolling her eyes. But I wanted to spend this time a little bit, just if you have any questions for me that you wanted to just close out on, or if I have something, man, I wish I would have asked you this when we did this. Do you have anything for me?
Questions?
Maybe anything. Well, anything you would want to ask me right now. What do you got? Anything? Put her on the spot, ladies and gentlemen.
We ever drink again?
I don't want to. I hope I don't. But if you've watched any of my videos this past week on a different show, you would see what I talked about. But I hope I don't actually drink again. But I have quit and started up many times. There's been many times where I stopped, and I can remember there was like a period, like I stopped in 2014, and then I didn't drink again until 2018. And I remember and whenever I went back into that, it was just because like I just felt like I didn't feel like terrible and like wanting to like I need to go back to this and everything like that. It was just like I wanted to do it again. I wanted to try it again. And then I did that, and I did it for stretches of period of time from 2018 for basically up until this year, or actually up until last year. Last year is when I stopped drinking in 2023. And I remember like what kind of got me back into it. Like I was drinking for a long period of time, and I just for many stretches I would try to stop. I would want to stop and do everything I could, and I would have to put like kind of hedges and boundaries on my life, so that I didn't fall back into that. And I remember I stopped. There was maybe 2 or 3 times when I had stopped drinking, and I would stop for about a month or so. And then I remember just like, because when you stop drinking, if you know this, it's like you feel like alcohol makes you feel good. So it is a dopamine rush. So it's like when you're not getting that, it's like, it's especially for the next few days and the next week, it's extremely tough. It's extremely tough to stop. And I remember I had stopped for about a month, and about a month into it, I was like, what was it? I just felt, the word that came to my mind, I felt unbalanced. It's just, I didn't feel balanced at all in my life, and I needed that balance back in my life of alcohol. And I wasn't getting drunk whatsoever, but I was just like, I needed it as like a shot of medicine in my life. And that, just, drinking back on grandpa's old cough medicine, if you watch Dumb and Dumber, you know what I'm talking about. But like, I needed it, I felt like I needed it. But then I stopped last year, and there was months after that it's tough, but it's gotten better, and it's gotten where I don't crave it like I used to.
When did it start to get better? Like the day you stopped, like how long did you feel? Oh, that was a good choice.
Oh, I definitely, I wanted to stop for a long time.
But this last time, did you feel unbalanced afterwards?
Not really. I mean, it was just kind of like, you just feel like the life is sucked out of you when you stop drinking. When you stop drinking, you feel like the life has been sucked out of you, and there's not really any joy anymore. But then after you have stopped for a while, you start getting like, it's like, I don't even know, like you're watching, it's like you say you're picturing something, and just vibrant colors start coming to life again, and you start seeing things clearly again. And then I think that is what has propelled me into wanting to do this, and I had that where I wanted to start a business and I wanted to actually start getting online and start doing this type of stuff and just, I guess, filling the crack. I wasn't doing crack, but filling the cracks of my life where I had filled it before, because before it was just all I would look forward to was my next drink. And I would look forward to the days of the week that I was going to drink. And that was what got me through the week. But after I got past that, now that I am past that, I am filling the cracks with trying to build this business and trying to do more for the kingdom as much as I humanly can do it. And all I want to do is live for Christ. That's all I want to do. And I think alcohol was something that for me personally, that kind of was like a weight around my feet, and that kind of just, I had to drag through, and I wasn't doing everything that I felt like I wanted to and could do as a Christian. But to each his own, if you can do it and you can do it in a way that is pleasing to God and is good on your conscience between you and God, go for
Who
it.
are we to say, right?
Yeah, it's like it's your choice. There is freedom in Christ. I would say do it. It's that's all I can really say about it. It's like,
Okay, next question. Your kids come to you and say, "Hey, drinking's not wrong. Can you go get a beer with me?" When they turn old enough.
well,
What would you encourage them to do?
I would like if that. I mean,
Because I would say,
that's a. I mean, I would say, like, for me, like if I had kids and
you do have kids.
not if I had kids, but if I with the with the what is the chance of feeling, I always feel like I'm going to say something sexist. With the chance of sounding sexist, I like, if I had a son, I almost view that, would you view a son differently as a daughter? I don't know if, and I might completely cut that out, but like, that is just like, I do view men and women differently. I am extremely thankful that my wife does not drink. I'm extremely thankful that my wife does not drink. And I would not want my daughters to drink, and if I had a son, I might, and I don't have a son, I don't have a son that I know of. So it's like, if I did, like, would I approach, like, I would basically share what I've been through and what I've gone through, and just be open about that and let him decide, That might sound completely terrible, and listen to this, might sound awful.
Well, and
but
even the girls we do have, even from a young age, like, I talked to him about it, and there's nothing really good about it. There's nothing healthy about it whatsoever, and it makes you do stupid things. You could get in a wreck and kill someone. Like, there's nothing good about it.
yeah,
Really.
I mean, but
if
like,
it loosens you up in a social situation, you're fine just the way you are. You don't
yeah.
need that, whatever. But haven't we talked about that, Bon?
Yeah.
And
Do you think, Bonnie, do you think you'd ever want to? Remember, it's not wrong to drink. It's wrong to get drunk. Do you think you'd ever taste it just to see?
No.
You don't have to
Bonnie
say
is
this 'cause we're
saying no
here.
if you can't hear that.
No. I would say that's completely not me.
Not completely not her, she says.
Okay. And so it's everyone has a choice, and what they're gonna do. I would say we do have to make that distinction, like, definitely not ever get in a where you're driving a car and you're drinking. That's completely.
But then why would you? I don't know.
What? Oh, what?
This me being judgmental. Why would you even put yourself in that position of helplessness? Oh, I can't drive you. I can't get out of this situation because I'm drunk.
And I would say, like, drunkenness is, I would say, you do not want to be in that mindset. That's like Paul has, that was what they did back then. They would get the drunk, and it was more of a religious experience. Get drunk, and then, and then go have sex with the temple prostitutes and all that kind of stuff. And this is, Jesse just had Bonnie close her mind or her ears, but yeah, it's like, that was like kind of in that context, that you would, and he's saying completely get away from that. That is not a part of you anymore, Christian. So I would say, like, the closer we get to Christ, I think you do it in your own way. But if it's going to cause you to be a stumbling block to others, get rid of it. Don't have it be a part of your life. But do it in a wise way. And I would say this goes for as long as marijuana is legal, and it that would fall within that the same
Same thing as alcohol, right?
same thing as alcohol,
I
yeah.
guess. Even though I can say that. It's legal. But I wouldn't want my kids to do it. I wouldn't want, just because there are no real health benefits to it.
All right, and I'm going to wrap this up where this has been a different type of episode for Morning Coffee and Bible. As you can see, I have not fully hashed through these things. Hash is a type of drug, but I wasn't using it that way. But I have not fully hashed through these things, but I'm gonna be who I am in these videos so that you can see them. That you see I'm a real person. That I am, and I hope I bring some insight to you. I am not. I would say Jesse kind of disagrees with me, but I am not teaching the Bible. I guess I am in certain aspects, but I have not wanted this to be a sermon or a Bible study or anything like that. It's just a real event of just talking things through and a podcast-ish. Just the casual conversation, but about deep and true, meaningful realities. So I have not fully hashed through all this stuff. But I'm kind of just you're seeing me where I'm at. You're seeing Jessie where she's at, we are real people. So, but, do you have any closing things, Jessie?
No, I'm afraid I did come off snooty, but.
Okay. Well, I hope you have an amazing day. I hope everything in your life is going fantastic. And, I hope you're growing closer to Christ in everything that you're going through. And, peace. God bless.
So we hold on and enjoy the ride. After all the ups and downs, this is our time. Enjoy the ride. Can you see it? There's a distant shore.
Bonnie will make it interesting. Yeah. When I hit a dead end, sometimes I know that, but it's like you just keep wanting to talk, and you think you got to fill the air, but okay. What were you saying? I did, you were talking and then I just, being an annoying, obnoxious husband, that's what I did. And I just completely ruined the mood. If you're a husband out there and you know what I mean, what it is to kind of ruin the mood. So that happens. All right. Sorry, Jesse. All right. I know. Okay.
That people use for pain relief and stuff.
Sorry if anyone heard my burp. That was bad.
Well, they didn't, but now they do.
Okay, now they know. Gosh, that's why when I'm recording, I'm gonna have to do you can record what? Sorry, you can record where different mics and you can just shut them off. I think right now I have it set up where you can only hear everything. It's all in one. So I'm sorry if you heard that. But moving on. Sorry. All right, I'm just shooting blind, everyone. Okay.
No, but they don't need to know that.
I know they don't need to know that, but sometimes they want to know that.
No, they don't. They want to know that you're what you're doing. What was that? It went zzz.
I know, I did that.
What'd you do?
Okay.
Don't do that.
All right. I got my wife, Jessie Fogel here, and then Bonnie, my daughter, my youngest, not my youngest daughter. Okay. Yeah, it's complicated right now. Bonnie, my daughter, my youngest daughter, and she's running control right now. And I got my wife to keep my head on straight. So, but okay, now I'm gonna do a couple intros. And all right, that's how you synchronize cameras. That's what we do in the showbiz. No, a lot of this. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Let's do this. Take a drink. See, now you can kind of see what the beginning of my videos that I've began to edit out have become. Hey, Bonnie.
What?
Is visual good? Can you see me clearly?
Yes.
Okay. I just gotta trust. All right. Bonnie, you need to do like the horn where I'm going. Do the horn. Give him the horn. Give him the horn. Air horn, baby. All right. Well, all right. So